Hola, hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estoy? No, that's not a thing. Hopefully you can hear me okay. We are sitting on the balcony in my place in Mexico because they're doing some work inside. So hopefully it's easy to hear me. Hola, hola. My hair, we're just working with the heat. So yesterday I had a chance to talk about vertical versus horizontal from my lovely friend, actually, Lisa, North Van Medium Lisa, who is on right now. We've talked about it a few times, and I think it's a really nice way to talk about the concept. And maybe in another session, alive, I'll talk about how I see energy. I've also been seeing energy more and more often lately, which is a very interesting experience, and seeing auras interact. And I saw a manifestor aura yesterday almost engage, almost activate, and then pulled back. And I've seen some projector auras here penetrate, and it's been really fucking interesting. But that's probably a conversation for another day. Today, we're going to talk about maybe two things. We'll see how this goes. But we'll start with talking about trusting your intuition. So I believe this is going to be a very intuitive year. It's a 7-year 2023, which also lends itself to being intuitive. And the hot move, the big tip, intuition is to listen to it. I know, right? Crazy. I believe we are all intuitive, just like we were all born with the opportunity to hear and see and feel and smell and taste. And some of those senses don't work for some people, and some people have, perfect vision but can't hear anything. So, we all have variations of it. But in theory, we have all of those 5 senses, but we also have all the 5 or 6, I guess, depending on how you want to slice and dice it, intuitive senses, clairs. And so I actually have a quiz that I will release soon so that you can use it to discover what your primary clair is. Sometimes the one we're using, this clair, is not necessarily our primary. It might be that our primary got shut down along the way. So intuition, for me, is information coming from the energetic field. Let me give you my sciencey explanation. If everything is energy, everything is an atom bumping into an atom, moving all around the world, right outside of us, why wouldn't our body have a system to read that energy? Right? Of course it does. It's the same way that our bodies can be in sync with the seasons. It's the way that animals know to hibernate. It's literally our body reacting to the energy bumping and moving outside of us, whether it's from other people, objects, things. Everything has a vibration because nothing is a mass. Everything is a series of atoms. I think it's atoms together, right? And so the density of that is just dependent on how much those atoms, how close they are together to create a person, a chair, or whatever. So let's just say table stakes. That's what I'm operating on. And of course, if everything is vibrating to create that mass, of course it's going to vibrate and put out a pulse into its environment. This is like basic. So why would your brain be the only part of you that is taking in information when your entire body's system is designed to receive information from the environment around you? To me, that is the basis of intuition. So I do this with my clients. I finally kind of put it into writing, but so you can move through your whole life through the mind, painfully trying to figure it out, or power move, bring your intuition online, give your mind a fucking break because it's goddamn tired. I know it is because mine always is when I do that, and start to use all the other senses to make sense of the environment around you. Because you're already receiving that information, but you may be blocking it or making your mind work overtime to try to figure out what the fuck is going on. But you're already doing it. You can cut tension with a knife. You can feel a room when it's totally off. You can feel a room when it's vibey. You can do all of those things already. So now we're just connecting the ability to be aware of energy and your sense of how you receive it outside of your mental mind. Okay? That's what we're talking about. And so the same thing, whether it's life or business, it's all happening. I just think business is way more fun if you use your intuition. I'm sure there's things we can talk about that in the future. So I'm going to give you some tasks because I fucking love some grounded practices. So a few things about intuition. I believe you're most intuitive when you're embodied. I'm looking at, the Pisces out there. Get in your body. Be in your body. That's where the intuition's happening, because your body is the receptive vehicle. It's part of the auric field that sits around you that is receiving the information. So to be embodied is to be intuitive. To pop out of your body, you may receive intuitive messages, but they'll be less grounded and harder to implement or work with, because then you're going to associate the disembodiment with intuition, and then you're going to fucking miss the whole goddamn show of being a human. So embodiment, number one. We can talk about how to be embodied. If you have any questions, pop them in. Second is, you're going to do a reverse intuition bucket list, if you want to say, a reflection list. I want you, if you're listening to this, to write down all the times that you received an intuitive message, whether you could have ignored it or acted on it, but it's already been happening. And if you're listening to me, you already know. You're like, I think I'm intuitive, but I don't know what to do with it. Fuck off. You know what to do with it. We're going to help you here today. Let's decide to believe. Let's trust that we're already intuitive. And then you're going to write, I'm going to write a list of all the times in the past that you received an intuitive messages. A knowing, a gut feeling, a part where you're like, your body was like, get me the fuck out of this energy. Whatever it might have been. When you smelled your grandmother's perfume in a room that she was not in, because she had just passed away, and there was no way that someone was wearing that perfume. Intuitive. So write down all of those things. Because our brains are wired to default to the negative for survival, we need to actively inform our brain of the times in which things were positive, things were in alignment, the truth of what was really going on was happening. So it's really just evidential information for your brain to reference, so that when you doubt yourself, you have something around you, either written, your awareness that, wait a second, actually, and all those examples of the times I was intuitive. So you're embodied, you have examples, and then you're going to start to create some awareness. What does awareness mean? For most people I work with, we start with just noticing. Just want you to notice. When something happens and you're like, ooh, my body had a reaction. Either your whole physical body had a reaction, your brain was like, nope. Your gut had something to say. You feel like you heard a song that was like, no, 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 by, what was it? Not Beyonce, but Destiny's Child. And you're like, that's a fucking weird timing for a no, 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 no. It's already happening. So just start to notice it. Notice what's going on. Notice the possibilities. Notice the ways that you might be receiving. And so then, from the noticing, you're going to start actively asking. Small things. In the morning, Spirit, the ways I can experience my intuition today, or allow my intuition to lead me through my day. Allow me to notice when my intuition is activated in the response to and the interaction with humans, in questions, at work, whatever it may be. So we're embodied, we're reflective, we're noticing, and then we're activating into our intuition. And listen, your intuition isn't some crazy ass good. Okay, let's see. The other problem with being energetic is things come in and out, So we're going to ask all those. We're going to go through that pipeline of experience. And you're going to start to notice actually intuition is happening. And what happens when you allow your intuition to be a part of your experience, because it already is that is part of your chance to increase your self-trust. Because something intuitive is going to come up and you're going to go, that's stupid. But your part of you is going to go, but that's kind of true, isn't it? And so in those moments, especially if they're inconsequential decisions, choose to believe your intuition. Choose to step into what is true for you. And so Lisa mentioned there's subtleties and there's not subtleties. You could be talking to somebody and your whole body is you can feel you're physically moving away, you're feeling all this stuff, and you're saying yes. Don't do that. Notice that your entire system is being repulsed from this interaction for whatever reason. And don't say yes if your whole body is saying no. And start to listen to those signals. I say listen because my listening is one of my intuitive senses that is primary. So it's noticing what your body's doing. It's noticing if you just hear a no in your head, or your whole cognition, your mental cognition, not your thinking mind, goes, nah, no fucking way. And when you start to move with the messages you receive, you will begin to notice how much more often your intuition is participating in life with you. Because your intuition is a relationship, and you need to invest in that relationship just like any other relationship. So when we were younger, most likely we're all highly intuitive, we're vibing, we're doing our best, we're living our best intuitive child laughing life. Obviously, circumstances vary. And then mom and dad says, you gotta eat that thing. And your whole body's like, I don't want to fucking eat that thing. And you eat the thing because whatever. However your home life was. Mine maybe included a spanking. So you do that. And you betrayed your intuition, but you had to, right? You had to survive. But then those micro moments continue until it's harder to listen to your intuition and to be a part of the family unit or whatever it might be. No problem. It's what happened. What you did, you got what you got. And now we're going to reinvest in that relationship consciously by listening, feeling the discomfort of listening, feeling that we don't quite know. And as you continue to the daily task of listening to your intuition, it's going to grow and grow, and you're going to grow in the trust. And so maybe your life will look like mine, where when Spirit tells you to move across a continent, a country, with 2 weeks notice, you're like, well, shit, it keeps fucking working out, so I'm going to listen. When Spirit tells you, I hope I'm not confusing the point. My intuition had to grow first, and then my relationship with listening to my spirit guides was the next level for me to be able to receive messages. And so what happens is I get a message from my spirit guides, a direction, and then my body starts to experience all the intuitive moments that are guiding me towards making that decision, taking that action, moving with the messages that are received. And so when Spirit says to stop doing something in my business that could have been wildly successful, I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do that. Trusting it. When Spirit says we're going to shift to intuition and channeling, and I have a meltdown, no problem. I have the meltdown, and I come back after caring for myself, and I start to move with what I receive, because everything gets easier. It's way fucking easier. And then maybe I notice that I don't value easy. Okay, cool. What can I do to care for myself, to shift my bodily belief that I'm holding on to, that work has to be hard? I'm going to do whatever I need to do there, and we can talk about that another time. And I'm going to come back so I can keep listening to the messages, keep noticing the blocks and beliefs that keep me from living in this divinely intuitive place where action is in alignment, you trust, you receive, all those pieces. So I think I just discovered my 5-step process to intuition, which is great. I'll have to re-listen to this. But it starts with embodiment first. And maybe you're like, I just cannot be embodied. Okay, maybe you just try 1% more of embodiment and notice what it makes available to you. And so your pieces or your process might be rearranged. There's never one way of doing things. It's just the way that really resonates for me and those that are working with me. I don't think we're supposed to be these highly intuitive people that are like missing out on life. That whole vertical and horizontal living, I believe, should be together. Because if you were only going to live within the spiritual, you probably wouldn't have incarnated. But I haven't asked all those questions yet. But my belief is that if the infinite is where the universal place our soul and love comes from, why the fuck would we leave there if we weren't going to enjoy being material here? And material gets to be whatever it means to you. There's no one way. It is not whatever the fuck people on Instagram are saying. It's whatever it means to you to be material. But be present in your body during the experience of being here while you're here. Get the lesson while you're here. Don't fucking miss the moment. Don't miss the moment. God. One thing about me, I'll always be sweating. So, Embodiment is important because you came here for a reason, and if you need to figure out how to start there and trust that you're here for a reason, whatever that reason may be, start there. Be in our bodies, allow intuition to move through us, and it gets to be fun. It's way fucking easier the more intuitive you become. Sometimes the messages to act on are a bit hard, but it's way more fun than moving from your mind, who has limited resources because it's not interacting with the energy around you at the same capacity that your intuition allows you to experience everything. We're not getting rid of the mind. We're allowing the mind to be the COO, the second in command. We're letting your intuition, the way in which your body interacts with the entire world around you, to be the leading force, and then your mind can move in the details that need to happen, in the figuring out, but even that we can shift. So your business, your life, your relationships from your mind will always, in my opinion, fall short because you're missing 90% of the experience, because what's really happening is all the energy around you and your mind is a small part of that. So that's my pitch for moving out of the mind into your intuition, having a ton more fun, being in alignment. If you've got any questions, comments, queries, send them to me in a DM or respond on this post. I get real jiggy about talking about all this stuff. I am best in response. It's where I thrive. And yeah, more intuitive. 2023 is the year that your intuition be poppin'. Love you all. Talk to you soon. Enjoy the day.